Plaintiff Jackie McCoy says days after she got a cancerous tumor removed, her mother passed away suddenly, and Jackie struggled to pay for the funeral. Jackie's suing her grandmother because she claims she kept $4,200 that her mother's co-workers had donated for the funeral. Defendant Alice Handy says her daughter, who is Jackie's mother, died in her arms days after she got gastric bypass surgery. Alice insists she didn't keep anything from Jackie, and she's countersuing for defamation and emotional distress.
Start with you.
First of all, I'd like to say that I do love my grandmother.
Good.
I do.
I don't know.
But right is right and wrong is wrong. Me and my grandmother had a really good relationship. We used to always go shopping together, always go to dinner with me, her, and my mom and everything. And back in 2015 of September, I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer, and I had to get a tumor the size of a grapefruit removed. My mom was with me at the time, and a few days after, I didn't see my mom anymore. The last time I seen her was at my bedside. So shortly after I had my surgery, I had to, of course, bury my mom. In the meantime, she was working for the United States Post Office. And at that time, I didn't know anything about burying a parent, where to get money from, how to get insurance or anything like that. So I had to basically beg, scrape, and borrow money from anybody that I possibly could to bury my mom in a timely manner. After we borrowed money, of course, to...
Did you all here in Chicago?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where'd you go? What funeral home?
Leak and Sons.
Leak and Sons? That's
Yes.
what I was about to refer you to.
Yes, that's where we went.
And they did you right.
They did us quite all right.
There you go. Give them a hand. Leak and Sons. My right-hand man is the youngest Leak son.
Well,
Stacy Leak.
they did us quite
And
all right.
I'm a personal witness how they help people who are in need. Leak and Sons Funeral Home. So, go ahead.
So, of course, we went with Leak and Son, and at the time, like I said, we didn't have any money to bury her, and after we borrowed all of the money, of course, we were able to bury her. Now, again, at the time, physically, I'm not really able to do anything.
Sure.
You know, open heart surgery is pretty, you know, so...
That's what you had.
Yes, I did.
And your mother passed. All within what time frame?
Within a couple of days, a week frame, yeah. And as we were at the funeral, of course, you know, family and everything is sitting on the front row. Everybody is passing to view the body and everything. And some of the people from the post office came out to show their support. One of her best friends was one of her co-workers as well. After the funeral was over with, they did, or her best friend, a co-worker, did a wellness check on me and my siblings to make sure we were, you know, getting through the day and everything was fine. At that time, she asked me, well, I want to just make sure you guys got everything that we gave you guys. And we, you know, I was like, well, what are you talking about? The co-worker. On the behalf of the United States Post Office, they have raised the offering to help bury my mom of $4,200.
Good.
To help with the burial.
Good.
And at that time, when I was informed that they had given the money, I was shocked because I didn't know anything about the money. I had never received the money. So shortly after I had my surgery, I had to, of course, bury my mom. I didn't know anything about burying a parent, where to get money from, how to get insurance or anything like that. So I had to basically beg, scrape, and borrow money from anybody that I possibly could to bury my mom in a timely manner.
Plaintiff Jackie McCoy says after her mother died, she struggled to pay for the funeral, only to discover that the defendant, her grandmother, had kept $4,200 that was donated to help with the expenses.
How was she as a child and coming up as a grandchild?
Well, they were spoiled, very spoiled, because my daughter was a social type of person, and I practically raised them because she lived in my house. My daughter was obese, and on her father's side, they all are obese, and she never wanted to be that way because on my side, we was not obese, but there was hunted her every day. She wanted the gastric bypass surgery. And I liked her just the way she was, you know, but she wanted it, so I had to go along with her because she was not going to change her mind. So she had a date for the surgery. I took her to the hospital for the surgery. Her kids was not there. I was there for her for the surgery and went there. She was in there about 3 days. I was there every day until they brought her home. And I stayed with her for 7 days. I never remember not one of her kids coming to see her. I remember the co-workers, the social club, they came. I never remember. If she did, I don't remember any of them coming there. I was up with my daughter for 7 days, day and night. And at the time when she came home, she was in a recliner chair, so she said, Mama, I would like to go to bed. And I said, okay, that's good. She said, well, you get back up. You cannot hold me. I said, I can hold you. And I tried to move her. She lost all her body function. And she said, I'm hurting. I can't take the pain no more, Mama. I can't take it. I said, okay, let me call the paramedic. And because at that time she was losing her breath and she could not breathe. And I say, oh, okay now. I blow breath in her body and did CPR until the paramedic came. I went into a syndrome. I don't even know how long I was trying to get her to breathe. And when the paramedic came there, they say, who did the CPR? I said, I did it. He said, you did a beautiful job, because they got a heartbeat when they was there. And the paramedic came. I knew my daughter died in my arms. Died in my arms. I could feel her hair on my arm today. Her kids was nowhere around. And when they got there for the funeral, I had to give the money, some of that money, for the funeral, because the insurance money had not kicked in. And she had to have a double plot. She had a double casket because she was obese, overweight. I had to give some of that money. We all was giving money for that.
That's not true.
Young lady, you believe she collected how much?
They raised $4,200. My grandmother didn't give a dime.
And she gave it all to your grandmother, you told?
Yes, sir.
They gave it all to your grandmother?
They gave it all to my grandmother. And if I might add, to say I wasn't there for my mom while I'm battling cancer, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and I had just had a child in June of 2015.
And open heart surgery.
And an open heart surgery, how on earth could I possibly physically be there for my mom if I'm almost on my own deathbed?
Correct.
And it eats me up today. So for her to sit there and say...
Don't let her eat you up. She's the only one saying that, I'm sure.
That I'm not there for my mom.
She's the only one saying that, I'm sure. It's just a dispute we have going on here with your grandmother, and people use everything in their arsenal whenever they have a dispute, believe me. I bring up stuff people have done 40 years ago to me. Whenever we argue about anything, I just talk about, you remember when you, and I twist it up, and I twist it and make it wrong. You remember when you stole from me? They ain't stole from me. I told them to bring it back, and they didn't, but you stole from me 30 years ago. Now you want to come back? That's what people do.
Yeah,
so don't take that to heart, all right?
Can I
She
say
never gave
something?
any money.
All right, and let me ask about the money, ma'am. Did you ever deliver it to her, or did you tell them you received $4,200?
I did not say anything to them because they gave me the envelope. Actually, I didn't know what was in the envelope until my other granddaughter told me what was in there.
So when you saw the envelope, you saw what was in it, what did you do?
No one told me that I had to give the money to, because they gave me the money because I was there.
What did you think they were giving you the money for?
Whatever, for take care to have part of the funeral, because the insurance money did not kick in until after.
So you knew they were giving it to you for the funeral expenses?
And I lose for the plot and for the casket. And
everything was for the funeral expenses?
Yeah. And
did you spend it all on funeral expenses?
No, because the family kicked in and paid the other half.
So what did you spend the other on?
And she told me that I should give her the money. I said, why should I give y'all the money?
What did you spend it on, ma'am?
I don't even remember.
Okay.
I'll tell you the truth, I don't remember. Whatever was left, I did not give them anything because I was there for their mother. I was there night and day.
Plaintiff Jackie McCoy says after her mother died, she struggled to pay for the funeral, only to discover that the defendant, her grandmother, had kept $4,200 that was donated to help with the expenses.
What are you suing her for? How does she owe you $5,000?
Because she got on Facebook and said that I stole her dead mama money.
That's a lie, Your Honor. I would never do anything like that. Number one,
You wouldn't?
if I'm battling cancer on my own and burying a mother within a week, Facebook is the last place that I want to be. My face is buried in the pillow somewhere, crying because it eats me up that on the day that my mom passed away, she called me and I could not answer the phone. You know why? Because I have pain meds lined up, heart meds for the rest of my life. And I didn't answer my mom's call. And the next call that I got was that your mom has passed away. I couldn't even get sunlight. I couldn't even go outside. I couldn't even hold my baby up, my newborn baby. Facebook is the last thing that I'm thinking about.
May I say
Who
something?
told you that, man?
I was there for her.
No, about the Facebook.
Well, they saw it on my family. I can't do
Your
Facebook.
family told you they
told
saw
me
it.
that they saw it on there, and I said, why would she do something like that? I was there for her when her surgery. I went to the hospital
Okay.
for her too.
I believe that.
When
I
she
believe
had
that.
surgery.
I believe you've done all that. I don't believe you've done anything wrong.
Okay.
I don't believe you intentionally did anything
No,
wrong.
not
I
never.
think you've been the best grandmother and mother that they could expect.
Okay, I tried, but they scandalized my name through the neighborhood, and the grandchildren right today think that I did this, think that I stole her dead mama
She
money.
just admitted to taking it and not
They gave
giving
it to me.
She doesn't believe she's done anything wrong, and perhaps she has a right to believe that. If there were no clear lines and boundaries and
My name was on it.
designations, young lady, come on. She has a right to misinterpret or misunderstand. Take the malice out of it, because what you're suggesting is she did it maliciously.
No way.
Intentionally. I intentionally took this. Could be, hey, I didn't spend all my time. She owed me this. I
Yes.
mean, let me keep this, because this is much as I done did. She rationalizes she don't think she's doing anything wrong.
She even admitted to taking the money and even telling me and my sisters that if we ever wanted to see that money, we will have to take her to court. And that's exactly why I'm here today. Your Honor, this is my grandmother. That was my mother. I have no problem forgiving my grandmother. But all of that money that we took and raised to bury my mom, we would have never had to do that if she would have just been honest.
How much did you pay?
$4,200. Here's the receipt.
$4,200. Let's see it, please. This is really something. I'm really torn, ma'am. I'm not going to grant you anything. You haven't proven that she has defamed you. And quite frankly, I don't know if you spent the money properly. I'm not sure.
I was just giving money. I didn't even care about the money.
Sure. What I will do, young lady,
Go ahead,
because
yeah.
you haven't proven enough either, I'm going to give you back half your money, all right, as a gift to you. Yes.
Thank you. I didn't want to come here today to just put my grandma on blast or anything because I love her. God knows I
love you
do.
too.
I have forgiven her. I just want to repair our relationship because my grandkids, her grandkids, don't even see her because of this.
They don't
and
allow
I know my
them to
mother
come.
Right, ma'am.
would be turning in her grave if she knew that her grandkids couldn't even have a relationship with their great-grandmother. So I do want to offer her forgiveness today. It's not just about the money, and I would really love to repair that relationship with my grandmother for my grandkids because I'm not that kind of person that is just out for the
And
money.
half your money back, that's repair enough for you? All right.
Can I give her a hug?
Yes. Oh, that's what I like to see.
Now, you know I love you. You know I love you. Oh, fine. You're not supposed to be crying. Okay? You bring the kids over so I can see them.
God bless y'all.
God bless you.
All right.
I would like more visitation from my grandkids because they don't come to see me. They go to her other grandmother's other auntie's house, which is her mother's sister. And we all live in the same neighborhood. They was told to walk on the other side of the street, don't even pass by my house.
At the end of the day, this is my grandmother. Nobody will probably be able to understand it, but I forgive her for anything she has ever done because one thing I did learn growing up is that you have to forgive. Now, you may not have to forget, but you have to forgive. And after today, I'm willing to forgive and hopefully start trying to mend our relationship.
Plaintiff Rachel Hash says when she was 16, she discovered her father was not her biological father. And as a result, she started abusing crack cocaine and heroin. Rachel believes the defendant may be her biological sister, so she petitioned the court for a sibling DNA test. Defendant Cheryl Parker says her father was a dangerous and abusive man. And when she confronted him about Rachel, his story kept changing. Cheryl hopes Rachel is her sister, so she's eager to learn the DNA results today.
All right, and today you ladies have petitioned the court for a DNA test to determine whether you all are blood related. And we're glad to be able to accommodate that request. Give us some background.
I am here today to find out where I belong and if Cheryl Parker is my sister. When I was 16 years old, I was put into a drug rehabilitation center by my parents. And my father came in and told me he was not my biological father, that another man was my biological father.
He came to visit you and say that?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think he told you that at that time?
At that time, he had married a woman and she had children, and she didn't think it was right that I didn't know and that he was withholding a secret from me.
All right, and how did that affect you?
It put me into a deep spiral where I started doing more drugs.
What type of drugs?
I was doing crack cocaine, heroin, and drinking until about 20 years of age when I found out I was pregnant with my oldest child. So then I stopped and was wondering about my own biological father.
Plaintiff Rachel Hash suspects the defendant may be her biological sister, so she petitioned the court for a sibling DNA test to find out the truth.
What have you known, or did you know at that point, about Miss Parker?
Not much.
Had you heard of her at that point?
I had heard that he had 2 other children, and so I did some investigating and found her mother's name and wrote a letter, and one of her sisters found the letter and referred me to Cheryl.
Okay. And when did you contact her?
In '94, we started communicating, and I went to Charleston to visit her.
Good. So you all have had a sisterly relationship since then?
Not really. Clyde Moore, who the man I believe is my father,
Is that her father you all believe as well? Go ahead.
Yes. He denied me, so that strained our relationship, mine and Cheryl's, and we lost communication and touch with each other until in January of this year, I went on Facebook and I posted this picture.
Let me see it, please. I am looking for Cheryl Parker, who lives in southern Mississippi, and Clyde Moore Jr., who lives in New South Memphis, Tennessee. I believe they are my siblings. Please help me to find them. And you all spent how much time together, you and Miss Parker?
In '94, about 2 weeks.
Okay.
And
Is that
then,
the extent of your relationship?
Yes, yes. And then January of 2019, I put that onto Facebook.
Okay. When you spoke with her in '94, what type of things you all talk about?
I learned a little bit about Clyde, about her upbringing. I learned that I had Bubba as a brother. Well, that's what we call Clyde Jr. as Bubba, I'm sorry. As a brother. Our children.
People looking at each other. Bubba's not a black name, y'all. Forrest Gump name was Bubba, wasn't it, in the movie?
Yeah, I think so.
Y'all try to put that in black folk named Bubba. No.
Shrimp.
Most famous white man in movies, his name was Bubba. Tom Hanks. Go ahead, man.
So
Bubba, you found out about Bubba.
Yeah.
Actually, Bubba was black in Forrest Gump. He owned the shrimp company.
Just when I thought we could get away from Bubba, they pull him right back. Y'all gonna make him black anywhere it go. All right.
There's Bubba.
But your brother's, he's white?
Yes, but...
Oh, right. We got one. That's a white. We at least got one white Bubba. All right, tell him I got about 10 black Bubbas I want to introduce him to in Detroit.
There you go, there you go. So, but after the relationship in '94, we hadn't seen each other, or we lost complete contact. So I posted that, and that really didn't work. So I started going on Facebook Messenger to every Cheryl Parker I could find and put, "Hi, my name is Rachel," with my phone number. Please call me. Most of them would do, "I don't know you, what do you want?" And I'd say, is Clyde Moore your father? And they would say no. Well, one day I've got this one, who are you? I don't know you. What do you want? And I put, is Clyde Moore your father? Next thing I know, my phone rings, and it's Cheryl. So we start talking, and about the third phone call that we had, I happened to be watching you on TV, and I saw, if you want a DNA test, call. So I said, Cheryl, do you want to call this and do this? And she said, sure. So I called. 3 days later, I got a phone call from your staff, and bam, we're here.
Good. All right. Good. So glad we could accommodate it. Let me hear from you, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Cheryl Parker, and my brother is Bubba.
That's right.
That's his nickname.
Yeah.
That was a picture of us when we were younger.
Was this one in the back?
Yeah,
This is because he the darker one of
Yeah,
y'all.
he's
Y'all gonna
darker.
name him Bubba. Let me get away from that. He had to do it.
we were raised by my mother and my grandfather. My father was a very abusive and very dangerous man, very mean. He hurt my mom really bad, and our neighbor had happened to see how bad she was injured, notified my grandfather, who called my uncle, who was a police officer at the time, drove to California and picked up us and brought us back. I lost communication with my dad around when I was 5, and I didn't get in touch. He didn't get in touch back with me until, I think it was like 93. I was like 6 months pregnant with my youngest. And my cousin notified me and told me that he was trying to reach out to me, and I'm like, okay, and what does he want, a medal? I mean, I wasn't interested.
Yeah.
Well, I went ahead and called him. My first question was, asked him, did it make you feel like a man for putting his hands on my mother, which made him mad. He called me a few choice names. I turned around and did the favor, and that was the end of that.
Okay.
Well, that's when I met her, and then I called and asked him about Rachel, and first he told me yes, and then he would tell me no. And I asked him, I said, do you have any idea? And he's like, no. I said, well, then it sounds like you have a problem. You know, I mean, he told me he's got kids in Texas that are his. I don't know.
Right.
So, but I'm hoping she is, because she's really awesome.
Plaintiff Rachel Hash suspects the defendant may be her biological sister, so she petitioned the court for a sibling DNA test to find out the truth.
And your reaction to his outreach was based on the abuse or just the abandonment?
Just him being just not being in my life at all. So I just had no
didn't
feelings
care.
for him. Yeah, I don't care.
Okay, people think I'm odd because that's my feeling. Knew
Right.
my dad for about 20, 30 days, and I think I've told that before. My mother sent me over there one summer to stay with him because I was uncontrollable, and went over there, and he was a thug himself. And so mother had, when I came back a couple of weeks later, never saw or heard from him again.
Yeah.
Now, and I never missed one thing. I don't feel like I missed no other side of the family. People are telling me all the time. I have a very prominent person who may be a cousin on my father's side. I'm like, okay, well, go and take the test. I ain't taking nothing. I don't care. Me and you can be friends. I don't care about no other side of the family. I don't know they exist. I didn't know he exists, but for 2 weeks, so I don't know if they exist. So you're better than the two of us because we don't want to know about our father's half of the family. You want to know, and you want to know as
Yes.
well, but you all believe it is the case or not?
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Yes,
We just
and-
want to make sure so that you're just no good dad of yours. He's still alive?
My father, no.
Oh, okay. How long ago?
About 12 years, maybe, a little longer. I don't
How you
know.
all wait this long?
We didn't know where each other was until I did
Got
the
it.
Facebook thing.
All right.
And
She married military, and I was married to military, did at one time. I'm
Yeah.
not no more, but that's a different story. But anyway, because he was Navy, we traveled a lot, you know, and she was Air Force, so
Traveled a lot.
It's kind of, you know, you go different directions.
Got it.
And it's hard to keep in touch like that, especially if you're not used to being in the same, you know, same
Well, I hope
area.
to confirm it. Let's see
Okay.
the results, and hopefully we can confirm that, and you all can be the sisters that, the blood sisters that you desire to be, but certainly sounds like you all are already sisters in spirit.
yes.
Well, I'm excited because I'm hoping she is. If not,
Yeah.
then I've got a really good friend out of it.
Right?
Right.
Me too.
Right.
Well, you got both. You got a sister and a good friend.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm going to
I love you.
I love you too, babe. Thank you so much.
You may be older, but you're tinier.
We're gonna
A full relationship.
Yep. I'm gonna call my brother as soon as we get done here and say, "You've got a new sister."
I'm gonna call my family and say Christmas just got bigger.
Yes.
It's awesome.